I want to share with you a recent lecture, or sometimes I call it a download, that I delivered to my students recently, my clients. And I've never shared something like this before. This excerpt from what happens in a literal class when I get together with my students 4 times a month. What comes through, I never think about ahead of time. It's just whatever is the most relevant to what we all need to hear. I just asked for that message to come through. This one was so powerful, so timely, that I thought I would share it with all of you. And it's about how life is constantly moving forward, the transience of everything, as I call it, and how every moment, while something is lost, something new arrives. And resisting this flow creates paralysis instead of growth. And we are in a time of unprecedented transition and change. New things are coming as old things are swept away, and it's heightened and it's everywhere. And this particular download really helps us understand how we can thrive in this environment instead of going into lack and fear and scarcity. So with that, I invite you into
Flow dreaming, still kinda woo-woo, is just what it sounds like. An escape into the world of woo. Also, a ride into you. And how to feel happier, wiser, and more self-aware in every way. It's your ultimate journey into personal growth and inner power. We'll explore ideas like how your energy self influences the kinds of opportunities you encounter, or how your personal growth can drive your business growth, or even how that feeling of being stuck is really always coming from something else. We just have to figure out what. That's right, we're a dash of woo-woo, a sprinkle of self-care, a heap of problem-solving and pattern-busting, and a giant cup of encouragement. We're going to relight so much passion, purpose, self-love, and confidence in you that you practically stagger. I'm Summer McStravick, your host, and welcome to Flow Dreaming, still kinda woo-woo.
Alrighty, friends. Like I said, this comes directly from one of my private classes. And because of that, the audio quality is different. It does sound a little echoey and hollow, and I did my best to clean it up, but Zoom is not always the best for recording, stellar audio. So forgive me if you hear pops and clicks and funkiness. It's just part, it's just gonna be part of it. And with that, prepare to dive deep and really get some understanding, honestly, why we're here. So, what they're saying is a lot of people are having very fundamental concerns right now about the basics, about the fundamentals of everything, the fundamentals of how we think life is supposed to go, the fundamentals of are we safe in what we've accumulated. If it were still wintertime and we were little squirrels in the tree, the home is, do I have enough? Am I safe in this tree? Is this tree going to fall down in the first rainstorm? Will the nuts last me as long as I need them? The wealth card comes up because we're looking to that as if I have enough, then I'm safe. If I have enough, then I'm safe. And we all play this dynamic out in our heads, some of us every day, some of us just time to time when we go through those patches that feel a little bit more prickly under our feet. So I want you to be thinking today about where in your life you feel very safe and very confident, where you feel like no matter what's happening, I will roll through this. This is supposed to happen. Another image that came to me before we started was the Ouroboros. That is the ancient image of the snake eating its tail, and it's in that figure 8. And it represents essentially infinity. It's sort of like the yin and yang Taoist symbol. The same thing. meaning that when one thing ends, another begins. And only by something ending can something new start. And we're sort of devotees to the idea of being in motion, like being in flow. We recognize that our lives are in motion, whether we like it or not. We cannot stop time from ticking today. It's totally out of our power. I mean, thus far for humanity, but for the time being, it's out of our power. We are therefore carried in this constant forward movement. And that movement means things get left behind every second. And it's almost a funny thing that our brain, this beautiful quantum computer that it is, can kind of pull the wool over our eyes so that we don't constantly recognize all the seconds and the moments that we just lost. But I've already lost this morning. I've lost last night. It's there, it's recorded, but if I grasp it, I can't re-experience it. It's not there. So what I'm trying to really show you is the transience of everything, but the beauty in that transience. If we didn't give up stuff, we don't get new stuff. It's sort of like the buy-in. If you're sitting at a poker table in heaven, this is the buy-in to play the game, right? I've got to recognize that every second I'm giving something up to get the next thing. And the next thing for us always means a new opportunity. And where things get wonky is when we get scared of those new opportunities, when we feel like lack thoughts around those new opportunities, or I won't get enough, or I don't have enough, or the world is coming down around me, or it's just been so hard, I've been so overwhelmed lately. Those are all, you can almost feel the energy of those emotions, right? Because that's what we're learning is what every emotion is doing and telling us, and how we can use and basically knit with these emotions the new things into our lives. So when you're having those lack thoughts, what you're saying is something just got taken away from me, but I don't even trust the thing that's coming right now in its place. So you can see how this puts you in a kind of paralysis. And instead of fully drinking and engaging the new things that are really meant to be here, like meant to be here, we kind of just float through them, not really, a foot in and a foot out. And that's the opposite of flow. That perpetuates a different kind of cycle, one of resistance, resistance. Life is moving and growing and changing and giving you opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. But you're still like, but the one that used to be over there, the one that used to be over there. Sometimes we do this in whole eras of our life. Like, and when I wrote in Stuff Nobody Taught You, I call the chapter Backward Looking Girl, meaning when you idealize that one area or time in your life when it was perfect and it's unrecapturable, it's gone, and you're in a persistent state of mourning. Like that's when it happens in a big way. But there's so many smaller, like day-to-day moments. The dinner I made last night is now gone. I won't ever taste that dinner again, thank God. But it's gone forever. But what's in its place? Dinner tonight. So, what we're trying to do here to stay in flow, to really stay in the state of fluidity and lack of resistance, is constantly anticipate and experience the moment that we're in, right? The power of now, as Eckhart Tolle would say, as well as what's coming after now. Recognizing that I want to give that up. I want to let go of this. I want to let go of that. I want to be in a state of possibilities. But also, we're recognizing what tint is your state of possibilities, colored with? Is it grays and browns and blacks and, oh, I don't know, and I'm afraid? Or is it yellows and greens and growth and gold and blue clarity and awareness? And then we're there to recognize too, how much is the outside world impacting what we actually want? And that's happening a lot right now. That's going right back down to home and fear and money and all the basics of survival, right? These three things are the basics of survival, these three cards paired together. So we're saying to ourselves, if I am letting myself be inundated, letting my energy, letting my perspective, letting everything be inundated by basics of survival, then that's all I see. And I've allowed my direction, my intention to be usurped. Well, there's $1 million word, right? Like a king or somebody who usurps power. But I'm letting my power be usurped by the stuff going on around me because I'm buying into that. I'm buying into belief around that. And certainly our lives around us impact us, right? When I wake up in the morning and I look at my closet of clothes, I only get to select from the outfits and the clothes that I put in there. The stuff we have around us does impact what we have to enjoy and experience. But if I look at that closet every day and say, and that's all I get, and every day more clothes are being taken out of it, and I'm getting too fat for them, and it's dwindling, and that's all I'm going to get, I've bought into something totally different than I want to feel good and happy and beautiful and confident in my outfits. I'm going to go out to the store and I'm going to pick up some new stuff at Anthropology or more realistically TJ Maxx. That's the feeling of yeah, some of these clothes I don't want anymore. Some of the stuff that's around me, it's truly around me. I can't deny that. But I'm going to go refresh. I'm going to pull in the new. And I have the ability to do that. And I'm seeking that. And I want that. So right now, like just if you had to balance 60-40, 70-30, how much of you is trying to reach back and cling on or upset that you're not having what you need or enough? And how much of you is, oh, I'm so glad that is going away. I'm glad that that opportunity is gone or that person is gone or that that job offer is gone or what that income is gone, that relationship is gone, that friend is gone. You can actually shift all of those feelings to gone for now, not forever, right? This iteration may be complete, but do I think that it's a forever thing? In some cases, yes, and it should be because frankly, you won't be craving it anymore. I don't crave the clothes that I wore when I was 18 because I would look ridiculous in them. But probably a few years after I let go of them, I might have said, "Oh, I wish I still had that beautiful, prairie blouse or whatever, or that midriff one that shows my entire belly that I can't wear anymore." You get what I'm saying? So, in your mind right now, how much of yourself, your energy is focused into the next iteration, the stuff that is actually flowing in? Where is your perspective? Where is your focus? And of the stuff that's flowing in, are you giving it your intentionality? Or are you just kind of reacting and responding to it? Are you giving it the intentionality of every second there's something new? There's going to be something new in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, tonight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. I mean, it's in what is it called? Ad infinitum. My Latin is so rusty, probably mangled that one. But into infinity. And we forget sometimes as infinite beings. And I just stop a second. As infinite beings, again, do you see the infinite being that you are? Did you lose track of that recently? We all do. As an infinite being, what is my highest priority? It's to constantly live into the future, to hold the past like a beautiful bowl of shimmering moon dust that I can dip in and taste and enjoy, and maybe it even starts to form the basis of who I am, right? That's why we flow dream. All these moments and minutes and hours that we spend in this sort of altered, more enmeshed state with the universe becomes who we are. So that our future can react to this being that we have created through our past. It's still there. But as an infinite being, here's a thought experiment. As an infinite being, where do you want to be in 1,000 years, Earth time? What kind of being would you want or expect yourself to be if Earth time was still attached to you somehow? Who would you want to be? How would you want to feel? What would you be doing or gifting to the world or to the universes? Who would you be inside yourself? What would you have conquered or solved or accepted or nourished? So when you just take another second to answer that actually. Okay, do you know how few humans ever ask themselves a question like that? Most people hang up their questioning at the pearly gates. Like, as long as I get there, I'm only gonna envision to the end of this life. And then hopefully something good after, and I don't even know what that is. So I'm only envisioning in these tiny little decades of time or less. You just did something that 0.0000001% of people have ever done. And actually, that's why I sent an email out to you guys. I wanted to really remind you of your purpose in your growth and the high regard that I hold you in. And it's not just me, it's that you hold yourself in for this. Because you are asking the 1,000-year question every day. You're living into it. Can you imagine if that 1,000-year from now you hears you? Actually, you know what? It does. It does. Because it's now in you. You're part of it. 1,000 years from now, what you felt just now, it knows, it built into itself. So, yes, it hears you. It is that piece of you that you did right now. Imagine if that 1,000-year self reaches back and says, if you want to cast your fishing line out that far and let me draw you in, I'm game, right? Because we're all like that. So again, this is going back to the Ouroboros. Yes, we are moving forward, forward, forward into this being that we're becoming. And sometimes this being will cycle back and move forward again. That's getting really philosophical. But for the moment, where is your mind space? And when you do drop down into the safety of stuff and life, can you look at it like this is a temporary condition? Because for one, it absolutely, when I promise you 100% guaranteed, this is a temporary condition because it already just left. Now, we might have a series of temporary conditions that last for certain amounts of time. But with everything that comes in, something else leaves. With everything that leaves, something else comes in. This is where your position of power lays. Lies. And when we're caught in the hubbub and the noise and the distortion of everyone else's emotional energy and panicking and so forth, we give away that vision. We give away that power. And we start floating in someone else's dirty bathtub. There's an analogy I haven't used in a number of years, but you get it, right? If you've ever stepped in somebody else's bathtub, I've had to do it as a parent sometimes, and like I'm taking the first bath and my kids are going to come in after me because I don't want to refill it. It's like, oh, this little, oh. But that's what it's like when we're steeped in other people's energy and information and propaganda and particularly fears. You're now got the oils of other people's ick on your skin. So I want you to just shed that feeling, shed that ick. Look to the 1,000-year self. Get back into the fluidity of every moment. Something new and beautiful is coming down the pipe. Every moment, something new and beautiful is coming down the pipe. And if you can't feel that, or if you kind of disbelieve it, or you think it's not new and beautiful, it's yucky and the same, or it's whatever, notice that's what your future is hearing from you. That expectation. Who put that in there? How did that get ground in there, locked inside you to where you keep perpetuating that? Why can't it be new and beautiful? Why can't things that feel broken or are leaving or unstable or unsteady, whether it's our national climate or something very personal in your own life, why can't it be perfect? so that that new and beautiful thing that's literally on its way to you right now, your future is slamming in right now, right now, right now. And it's going to be full of stuff. What stuff? You're the creator. As I always say, either you have absolutely no control or you have an immense amount of say so, right? You're co-creating with the universe. You're a part of it. And I feel that in any natural system, when you're a part of something, you're intrinsic to it. You are, think about a stream flowing through a forest. That stream is part of that forest. It's making noise in that forest. It's drawing the animals in that forest. It's carrying nutrients in that forest. You are the same as the stream. And by the fact that you are here, you are imprinting and impregnating, it's a weird word, but your life around you with you constantly, which is very different than I have no control. The stream is just the stream. It goes wherever it goes, and it's just a random thing. It's horrible. Everything is random. In that case, forest is random, stream is random, birds are random, animals are random. I don't know how it all even holds together, frankly, into a forest. It seems like it should all just be drifting around in blobs of molecules without any form or structure or intention, but it's not, right? If you carry that thought experiment out to the next idea. So you, today, tomorrow, are flowing into the next moment. What do you want in it? Safety, security, money, love, healthiness, opportunities, the right things coming together? Why not? Why not? Because if you can say to me there's one single thing in the entire universe that's standing there in front of you saying, no, you can't have that. Nope, not for you. I want to know who that authority is, who has that power over your life to say, no, you can't have, no, don't, no. Because that means we all have minders, universal minders who are turning on the spigot, turning off the spigot for us. But what if we are actually all children? There are no minders. We're all children. Or we're all minders with no children to mind. So let's get rid of the hierarchy for a moment here. The permission to have or permission denied. What if we're the ones who give ourselves permission or no permission in our thinking and our anticipation in where we're going and what we can have and be and do and expect and feel? Right now, I want you to feel a sensation of hope. I want you to call up that energy inside you. Hope, joy, confidence, a deep knowing, a deep trust, an allegiance, an alliance, an alignment. That's your feeling. That's what you want. That's who you are. That's what you're capable of. And I want your world to respond to that now and later today and tomorrow again. And whatever you want to pour into that, I'm safe, I'm wealthy, I'm directed, I'm clear headed, I'm peaceful, I'm trusting. I don't mind when things go away and new things come in. I want to be in a state of motion that's not in a state of resistance. I want to be fluid. I want to be flowing. How does that feel? Like, do you feel unleashed, unlocked, carried, clear? Notice that feeling. With that, our little download is over. Um, Sometimes big, long view stuff like that comes in. So I hope you caught most of it or were able to grab onto some pieces of it.
Well, I hope that really got you thinking. A lot of big questions, and my wish is that maybe an aha in there a time or two. And when I was expressing to my students how much I admire them and adore them for thinking like this and their dedication to it and the rarity of it, I mean that with my entire heart. Also, when I mentioned the wealth card, and I was really in some the oracle cards, I was referring to, I have a new deck coming out. It's called the Flow Oracle. In fact, it's probably out by the time you're listening to this. So you'll be able to find that on Amazon for purchase. It's wonderful. What else to say about it? It's pretty awesome. And of course, if you are intrigued and you're thinking to yourself, I could definitely hear messages like this at least a couple times a month, I do have options for you. I am constantly teaching different sets and series of classes. Just send me an email. Ask me what I've got going on right now, and I will fit you into the appropriate group, and we'll go from there. All right, my darlings, lots of love to you. Big hugs. Hope you enjoyed this unusual little episode. And I'll be back again, of course, next week, as always, with more Flow Dreaming, still kinda woo-woo. A quick note for newcomers. Flow Dreaming is both an energy practice and a way of seeing the world. It teaches you how to manifest, heal, and use your emotions to create a sublime life. You'll find over 300 recorded flow dreams, which are similar to but not the same as meditations, and a free short training at flowdreaming.com. This show dives into flow dreaming and other concepts to help you live a more powerful and fulfilling life. Now, let's get to the show.